And welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dudley Boys of WhatCulture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review Raw and exciting developments on the road to Elimination Chamber.
What's that? It was all right. It was like, it was standard time now. Like, this was a fine Raw. You don't get bad ones, ever. But you get great ones and merely good ones. And this was just merely good. Like, I felt very much like this Raw as I have done for all of Dynamite this year.
Here we go. Culture war over here. Jesus Christ.
I was like, nothing's making me go, wow! At the moment, but I'm like, I'll tell you where I'll give Sid just show the benefit of the doubt.
It's not my show. You should have better taste.
You called it a culture war, mate. So,
you're the one who's doing the culture war, mate.
I would say that at the moment, the actual things on Dynamite that are like in the background, stuff they're building, is better than what's happening in WWE. WWE's got the right now. It's WrestleMania season. It's easy. Loads of tap-ins.
Not really.
But easy. But the
well, they're making it difficult then.
The stuff that wants like the current stuff out of the way in AEW, that's the stuff that's like there to get really excited about. You can just tell. You can see that lots of new, interesting stories are happening. I'm still not convinced we're really seeing that from WWE. I don't know if that is still around this. There's a new conversation about whether it's fun or bad that the WrestleMania card isn't clear. Those seem to be the two, like, sort of...
I'm in the fun camp.
Schools of thought.
As always.
Fun or bad? I'm still leaning towards bad. I think that the product was more interesting when you could see the matches. Predictable is good sometimes and all of that. And the fact that you can't yet is bad, where I would like to be having fun.
Yeah.
But this does seem to be dividing people. I've seen like various people, like you mentioned that already. I think I saw our very own Simon Miller tweet something to that effect of quite liking that the WrestleMania card is not up in the air feeling, but just the sense that we're this close and you still can't see it. I think WWE's been better when you have been able to see it, truthfully, and the fact that we're still... like, everyone's in the mix, but nobody is. It's still giving me that sense of like, I just want to be hyped for longer. It's all in the anticipation. It always is. I've said this for years now at this point with good WWE era stuff. The anticipation lasts longer. I want to be in that period way longer than the payoff. I want the payoff to pay things off, but I want to live in the anticipation as long as possible.
Even after Elimination Chamber, you'll have, 6-7 weeks?
Yeah, but... I've been enjoying having 12, let's say 14, 16, whatever. Like, I don't think it is as good to just be like, well, could be this, could be this, could be this. And then you get a bunch of graphics all at once. It's like, right, it's this. You've got 6 weeks or something. A better product, I think, would have had you anticipating and enjoying those things for way longer, even without a graphic drop. But that's maybe a personal taste thing, because I'm seeing, like, reasonable arguments for both. It's a bit like the Cena Punk thing. Yeah. You can find the arguments for both, and you can kind of see where everybody's coming from.
Haven't had the sensation that this is a well-oiled machine for a couple of months now. And if I'm, was inclined to really, really like this.
From the Netflix jump, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Just January 5th. I wonder if Levesque would turn back time to January the 5th. Because, my God, ever since that Netflix debut was rotten. And I don't know, it doesn't feel... like it's a well-oiled machine just puppeteering this fan base and then showing them like this little glimpse of the direction, and as Hamflett says, making you sort of pine for it and anticipate it and luxuriate in it and want it to arrive and not yet at the same time. I don't get the feeling that they know exactly what they're doing, or if they do have a firm idea of what they're doing, if they're altogether happy about it.
They're pairing people together to hedge the bets.
Yeah,
like I think that. AJ Styles and Bron Breakker is a perfect example. Really, really fun. Can you pin it on the board for WrestleMania right now? No, you can't. And then within the next 2-3 weeks, Bron Breakker could spare somebody else and they could take him over there instead.
They've already had backstage interaction with Penta to tease that.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre was talking to Paul Heyman. January, was it? Late January before the Rumble?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on with that? It just feels like they don't know what they're doing. It feels like they do not know what they're doing. I'll tell you one thing about this specific Raw. If I saw this written down, I would have had an existential crisis about, oh God, I can't keep doing this every Tuesday. Oh, that's a bit far. Let's just walk that take back. I would have looked at this show and went, right. Pit stop on Elimination Chamber. They're obviously saving Punk for the go home. Let's just cross the T's, dot the I's, the formalities of a remaining chamber entrance and get on with it next week. This written down had the quality of a second Raw of a double taping block of the boring bit, and I couldn't believe some of the over deliveries in the ring.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised as well.
Do you know what? I think a lot of this...
I couldn't believe how not bored I was, really. It wasn't like a great, inspiring show or nothing. No. It was way better than I thought it was going to be.
We tend to, or we've, at least in the last year, it's trended where we've ended up doing like State of AEW conversations before like a Dynamite review. And we don't really have to do that much, or haven't had the cause to do that much with WWE. So like this time here can be at the expense of like when there's just simply nothing to say about some of the stuff on this Raw. Sidge makes a great point there, because something that was stuck in my mind watching this, and it was due to the absences of some people or the feeling of something else better coming next week or the week after, or even in comparison to elements of Friday's SmackDown, which I enjoyed way more than this Raw, which almost never happens.
I did my catch-up at night early, Mr. Wilbourn. You'll be pleased to know.
Hey! What a show.
Yeah. That Miz stuff with LA Knight was absolutely 2019 assed.
It was the worst, wasn't it?
Yeah, we said that was the lull on the show.
This really felt like the bad old days where, like, you didn't know that you were opting in to tune into an episode of this never-ending weekly episodic show that doesn't matter. It was only halfway through that you realised, oh, this one doesn't really matter then. That like, to Triple H's immense credit, in my opinion, that's one that feeling doesn't happen too often. Got it here massively. Like, got it here where I just thought, like, if I was the type of person, there's plenty of them, to just get their ups and downs and watch something else, skip a week, you could have done. And I didn't like that. I was halfway through this realising this was a skippable Raw. Again, through the absences of some, through the feeling that, like, the stakes, they can have the WrestleMania sign hanging there, but the stakes right now are not all that high, considering that we're in mid-February. Again, I pull it back to the idea that, like, every week now should feel electric. I don't think that's a, like, unfair expectation from the last couple of years of WrestleMania builds. There was another point as well about that. Drew McIntyre, that was it.
Memory Man.
Your coining of AEW's Invincible era. And we'll say, you know, some of those cage match cards might not read much on paper, but to live in it, you'll never forget it. It's what you watch for, eras like that. And I remember a storyline dying on the vine, and we were all sort of not just disappointed, but almost shocked, because everything else felt like they couldn't miss. And then, yeah, there's Matt Hardy, but you're allowed. There's the Matt Hardy zone. Everything else is perfect, but you've got to have a Matt Hardy zone. You've got to have a housemate you don't like. It's Matt Hardy. I wish he was out of the house of AEW. And then...
Got there in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, Kaz the Elite Hunter missed the mark badly. Got us really hyped for a run of matches leading up to probably losing to Kenny Omega. And he lost straight away. And that's really weird. Something has just been dropped cold, or something has... A couple of things have had to die there for that to die in the way it died. This isn't just Gallows politicking a win and then we get back to business. In a bizarre, like, coincidence, but also quite a useful reference point, Drew McIntyre,
Bloodline
destroyer
Hunter
of the Bloodline, went the exact same way. And they... Like, the opening segment of SmackDown was something I had loads of praise for, because I really loved them folding Drew and Cody's hug the other week into Drew sort of being like, Actually, Cody, I think down the line, it's me you need to worry about. And then just leaving him to the potential wolves of Jacob and Tama Tonga in the ring. Like, he's had to pick himself back up off the fact that he failed in his stated aim of destroying the Bloodline. And that character, that Drew McIntyre character, in 2023 and 2024, wouldn't have been able to live with that timeline of events. Wouldn't have been able to sanction the idea that his little course that he was on to beat up all the Bloodline had failed, and failed quietly, and failed without incident. It's simply... never in a million years with the Drew McIntyre character, with the show Bible and with all the different motivations, And it is just like they've lifted that story out.
Stephanie taking over creative or something.
I don't know. Like, it feels like that little chapter.
That's how it
point
started to suck last time.
It's just been like, get rid of that. What was he doing before that? He was kind of like Cody's enemy. He was playing both ways a little bit with a paranoid Cody Rhodes. And now that Punk's mentioned that Cody Rhodes is getting 300 days in and the paranoia starts to set in, we'll drop him into that instead. Yeah, what about the bloodline stuff? That was pretty key to his build to Royal Rumble, and after that, right? Not doing that anymore. Like, that's bad booking, bad creative, and that's what I'm worried might seep into some of these other characters, and that's what damages the anticipation and the hype and the excitement and
the belief.
The belief and the erosion of the trust. And we're going to get onto, like, again, good work being done by exceptional professional wrestlers and the likes of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but already, I think you are seeing I'm not harboring of a doom or anything. Like, WrestleMania is going to be great. Like, things for now are fine in the Fed. But I think this Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens thing is a great example of how
Mommy and Daddy just need to fight sometimes.
You can chip away at people's trust, because the idea that even an unsanctioned battle at Elimination Chamber has got people stressed that this won't make it to WrestleMania.
I don't think it is.
Well, but that has created like a bit of a fight within the fan base, and I don't think that emotion exists a year ago. I don't think. Look at this guy. Surprised I can see both hands above the desk. I
don't want her to fail.
It doesn't exist a year ago, because there would have been like having a fight Elimination Chamber. No, not in 2024 Fed, mate. They're going all the way to WrestleMania, and this brawl's going to be so amazing. You're going to be desperate for it to be Mania now. That might still be the plan.
Yeah.
But people don't quite have that trust and don't quite have that faith. And that happens. That's death by a thousand cuts stuff. It's more than just one storyline getting abandoned. It's numerous superstars not being well catered to. Like, that process results in people going, why is Sami...
WWE affiliated podcasts.
Why is Sami...
Never say superstars again.
Why is... it's a great word. I'm glad they invented it. Like... why are Sami and Kevin fighting now? What's going on here? Like, why are all these triple threats emerging? Why are all of these feelings are born out of?
I think the triple threat
Is
concern...
this WWE on Fox?
I think the triple threat
What
concern...
are we doing here?
This is great analysis about a product that warrants great analysis, Sidge. That's what's happening.
I think the triple threat concern is more dramatic than, I think, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn not fighting at WrestleMania. I think people are really getting het up about the wrong thing here, to be perfectly honest. Like, they clearly would want to fight in Canada. Mm-hmm. That match is going to be given far more time on that show than it would get at WrestleMania. They've got plans for them, I think, for WrestleMania anyway, just in different directions. And there's now a germ of an idea in my head that they've gone, well, we don't do Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn at this year's WrestleMania, because at next year's WrestleMania,
He always buys himself some time.
Sami Zayn's winning the Royal Rumble in Saudi, and let's do it there.
Today, February the 18th. So it's like 20 plus 18 or something. Is that all for next year's?
I'm just positing some theories.
But those other options you describe there, I don't know if this is what you're thinking of, but like Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton and Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross.
Oh my God.
There it is right there.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
That's the take.
Oh dear.
People don't get Karrion Kross, that's why, because they're stupid.
It's because
neither match.
He's never had a loud match,
like,
really, in his life.
Love the guy.
I love the guy.
Yeah. I quite love balloon body Randy Orton, but neither of those matches are Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, are they?
No.
That will come back to kind of bite them a little bit again, because there will be the sense of, you definitely made us feel like that's where what we were supposed to think about in like November or something, and now we're not doing that. What's that about?
I will say
all these things. It's your Stephanie McMahon thing.
She's back, man.
It's Triple H. It's Triple H angling Stephanie McMahon.
Hit you in the look on your face.
Like the two stories from 2000 where everybody went.
I hate her.
Where everybody went. Huh? Like, it's Rikishi obviously running over Steve Austin, and it's she picked Triple H because he's bigger and harder than Curtin. That's that, is it?
Yeah.
Like, both those happening within like a month of each other was. This wasn't my January to August. What? And you never ever get that back again. You do. You have to wait 22 years.
Yes,
and you get that back again. But that's where that's the tightrope that they're walking. They haven't fallen off, but that's the tightrope they're walking for me personally.
I will say, before we get into actually Raw, let it play out. WWE and Levesque hate him, but still, he's earned it. He has earned it. But I think that it's just compounding this sense of unease of going to have one good old-fashioned climactic big-time star versus big-time star match at WrestleMania. It doesn't feel like there's one that, Cody, Cena, but Cena's completely and utterly washed. It's a different proposition to that match if you get the 2015 Cena back, and there's not much history there. The whole point is it's meant to be the season finale of the WWE. And I'm not getting that at all from this year's Mania.
It's a bit Cena Cody until we get to the point where Cena actually wins and they're cutting promos against each other, and then I've got a bit more faith in Cody especially. Right now on paper, I think one of the reasons why, loads of people are excited about it because it's John Cena, but why a lot of people are really struggling with it, I think.
Because John Cena sucks.
I think it's more than that. I think we lived through forced and fake torch passings all the time.
Yeah.
And currently it's kind of just that. It
just doesn't need it.
No. And just like Cena didn't when The Rock passed it to him at WrestleMania 29, or friggin' that bloody No Mercy disaster with John Cena and Roman, that end-to-end disaster.
Oh, yeah.
But there was loads of those. They do that sort of stuff all the time, and they would tell you the torch being passed or history being made or whatever.
They had a torch passing match between...
It's a torch patching match.
Shut up, I'm plugging your show. They did a torch passing match between Rock and Hogan that some might call the best match ever, wouldn't they?
Some might, and they would enjoy the deep analysis. Like this, what you're getting now from myself and Sidgwick on Hogan versus Rock from WrestleMania 8. We've also just done Cody versus Dustin from Double Nothing 2019, and a new one is dropping this and every Sunday in the near future. We've got some awesome matches lined up.
Absolutely.
Very excited for it.
Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Right, let's get into Raw. Everyone arrives. Pat McAfee's back from vacation. Actually, I knew this was going to be a fun review because I got a really excited text from Michael Sidgwick when I woke up. I checked my phone this morning, and Sid had text saying, "Oh my God, is that and NASCAR driver William Byron? He just won the Daytona 500 with AJ Styles." And I said, "Yes, it is." So thank you for asking. Then we get a...
Could it be?
Just picturing you jumping up the cat like flies up in the air. Whoa!
Kids, get up!
I wouldn't have now to do this morning, the cat.
Yeah?
Come on.
It's Raw.
That explains it, huh?
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
No such worries on Dynamite Day. Sounds like an awful Blue Sky trend, doesn't it? Cats of Collision. And you take a picture with your cat watching Collision on a Saturday. Cat a day. I'm sure Blue Sky's lovely.
I'm sure it's great.
We get a video package for what's gone on, not the whole time, because it'd take the entire show, but what's gone on recently with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, with the stuff from SmackDown laying down the challenge for Elimination Chamber. And then Sami Zayn comes out to a great reaction. He says it's been a tough couple of weeks. That was nice to hear. He's had time to think about the history of himself and Kevin Owens, starting in pool halls in Montreal, working their way through the ranks of NXT, and then eventually, obviously, headlining WrestleMania together. He couldn't think of any two other wrestlers in history whose careers have been tied so closely together. Yes, there have been a lot of betrayals, forgiving and forgetting, but there's no forgiving and forgetting this time, because this time Kevin tried to end Sami's career. But Kev's problem is he didn't get the job done. Yes, Sami is not 100% and he doesn't have a lot in the tank, but he's got enough for a fight, and he'll be in Montreal, and let's have a bare knuckle fight, Kevin Owens. But he's interrupted by Raw GM Adam Pearce, who says, look, everyone wants this match. A big part of me wants this match, but everybody, SmackDown GM, can't remember what his name is, me, the board, medical, we've all told you no, Sami. You're not medically cleared to compete. You shouldn't even be in the ring right now. I'd love to make it official, but the answer is no. And he goes to leave, and Sami stops him and says, how long have you known me and Kevin? You know the history between us, and you know that I won't take no for an answer. I will not leave this ring until you give me that match. And Pearce says he can't sanction a match between them. So what he'll do is anything goes, basically. If Kevin wants to wrap a chair around Sami Zayn's head and drag him to the concourse or pile drive him over and over and over again, there is nothing WWE can do about it. You assume, Sami, all the risk for very little reward. Even if you win, you still lose. What this means is that Elimination Chamber in Toronto, it could be the last match of Sami Zayn. Sami walks up to Postman Pearce and says, I understand what it all means, and repeats it all back, saying that basically he could do the same things to Kevin Owens and he still wants the damn match. And Adam Pearce says it will be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber. It's not official, it's unsanctioned.
Can I go first? Sorry, very
please,
quickly, because I feel like I'm going to be the bad mood guy, and then Hamflett can lift the mood right back up as Raw rolls on. I think Kevin Owens has done a far. It's minimal evidence so far. I think Kevin Owens' promos to build this. I don't know what it is. I just believe it more from him that this new chapter of this incredibly storied and very, very long rivalry, as impressive as it's been, Kevin Owens has managed to pique my interest in seeing it again. You know it's magic every single time. I've got no reservations about maybe the timing, but not the execution of their eventual in-ring meeting. It's going to be great. I just think Kevin Owens has done a wonderful job over on SmackDown in that car of making it seem like I thought we were past this, and I'm so disappointed that we're going to have to put an end to it once and for all. I don't know if it was Sami's phrasing that hackneyed, this time it's different, is it? Because it's kind of been different every time. I don't know if I believed him as much as Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that detail. I like that they're both openly acknowledging, we're back at this bit again. Like their knowledge of their lives together, and that almost that this is a chapter point and nothing's the end. It's that nice thing you realise the older you get in general. I mean, we're all in our 30s. But the idea that, like, you always, when you're younger, you live so much of your life thinking you're going to get some sort of pinnacle, and then you realise, oh no, there's just got to keep on living. And I love that the older and wiser Owens and Zayn are still not so wise that they can't just not have this fight.
Yes.
They're going to have the fight. They're going to see, like, what happens. And I do like that kind of acknowledgement of it would be impossible and unconvincing to have this rivalry between them and then say, like, well, this is definitely it. Because they kind of just know each other. There's even this, like, especially from Owens, this, like, underlying idea that, like, one day they'll be friends again.
Yeah.
Because he kind of feels so broken up by this latest betrayal as he sees it.
Once Sami sees the errors of his ways.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think this is still very interesting material. I was higher on Sami Zayn's performance than Sidgwick. Not by much, because I do agree I think Owens is the better of the two. Yeah. Zayn's still very good. I liked Adam Pearce in this as well. There's a lot of times now where I'm kind of grateful for the role I never thought I would say this sentence, the role the authority figures play in WWE is about right, honestly. Like, the two of them have just got enough authority, they've got enough physical strength to be able to occasionally stand up to a heel, or in this case, try and stand down a babyface, should the situation require. Both given authority. Fans are pleased to see them because they act with consequence and authority. And how long was that word missing? And I thought, like, this, it just made me reflect on, like, when Adam Pearce was doing this back in, like, 2020, 2021, and him and Sonya Deville were caricatures, you know, and it's like all that has come a long way, that, like, you can use this role still. And I thought he was quite effective here as well. A lot of them as well have got, you know, long-standing history with some of these wrestlers, so they can just burrow into that a little bit too. I bought this.
I also laughed at the commentary reaction. Michael Cole's like, Sami, you're out of your damn mind. And Pat McAfee's like, cool, unsanctioned match, let's go. We go to the Judgment Day's clubhouse. Did find it funny that Carlito's still trying to buy stuff on 2K, despite the fact the new one's coming out. Anyway, Dominik Mysterio is worried about Bianca and Naomi obviously coming after Liv Morgan. Morgan's not concerned, though. She's proud of Dom and what he's been doing recently. And Dom's like, wish Finn saw it that way. He wanted to add a new member, but Finn Bálor has refused. And Bálor walks in and he's like, hey, we're all heading to Elimination Chamber. I'm going to beat Seth Rollins tonight. And it would be pretty bloody embarrassing if Raquel didn't beat Roxanne Perez. So better do that. She's like, why don't you handle your own business, dickhead? I'll handle mine. Bálor goes to leave, but before he does, just reminds Dom, no new members.
So there's going to be a new member.
There's going to be a new member, and maybe it's at Finn Balor's expense if the rest of the group are saying, no, we actually do want to keep the Judgment Day, or we want to, like, reimagine it or whatever, and it's now you that needs to go, or something like that.
Welcome, Aleister Black.
Very possibly. Somebody identified some utterly insane law that is definitely a coincidence. But the Judgment Day, if you remember when Finn Bálor got hold of the Judgment Day from Edge, it was a night after Edge's version of the group was successful for the first time.
Yes.
Well, that made no sense. And Edge, Rhea, and Damien were victorious in a 6-person match over Finn Bálor, Liv Morgan, and AJ Styles.
Wow.
And AJ Styles, recent returnee, does what upon coming back? Looks like the Judgment Day sucks ass now. You got purple trousers. Like, if he's the one that ousts Finn Balor, like, that is... and you know how, like, Triple H every now and then picks up these loose threads that nobody would have even cared about? But it was like, hey, he did that back at the... Anybody kicking around that we could put in as a new member? Anybody got anything? Like, somebody's got the worst task.
Is this anything?
Yeah, somebody's giving on the creative team's given the worst task of the day. What am I doing today? You're watching old 2022 pay-per-views before I took over and trying to find anything that might sort of make sense now. Oh, jeez, Edge, I can spin forward. AJ Styles, he's on the roster. And it's almost impossible, but it's just interesting that all of these people have suddenly found themselves together as it appears as if a new member will displace Finn Balor. Malachi Black's the funniest outcome.
Indeed.
House of Purple.
Judgment AJ.
Spit in the face. People who don't want to be cool. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be good.
Hey, Carlito, what's your Xbox Live like? you got Game Pass?
We see ISHO Speeds, his clip of him getting killed by Bron Breakker now, I think, had 300 million views, which is mostly the WhatCulture office, to be perfectly honest. And he was talking about on his stream or whatever, saying he thought he was going to die, which makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Yeah. And then the star of WWE appeared, Vic Joseph.
Oh, teachable moment!
Across the shows this week, wasn't he?
That's right.
NXT, SmackDown, Vengeance Day, and then on Monday Night Raw, filling in, doing one of those interviews with...
He's not very good.
He's the best. He's great on SmackDown. He's really good.
I thought you were going to say you're right, Sid. You're not very good. He's great.
He's a horrible commentator.
I've grown accustomed to Vic Joseph. I was pleased to have him on SmackDown.
Yeah.
The dissonance between the action and his excitement for it just kills me spiritually every single time.
He chatted to Bayley about the NBA celebrity game.
He's on like JR Austin mode for like the first 2 minutes of Alexis King match. What are we doing here, Vic?
Vic Joseph at home. Well, got any milk? And then he's like, oh, I have!
Yeah, Bayley said she was going to win the chamber.
Yeah.
I need to get milk tonight. It's crap being 39 years old.
I need to get green milk actually as well. Can you remind me? Not blue. We're stocked up on blue. We need green.
That'll walk home as well. Do you get the cow size one, like the 6-pinter? Because that's hell on the shoulders.
Oh, it's on the shoulders. I mean, that's why I'm jacked. But it's just...
Kurt Angle was right. It's just milk.
It's just, it's like, Christ, oh, wow. What are you doing? I've got to get some milk in. God, what a boring life it is sometimes, isn't it?
Not for me. I like it. Boring, isn't it? Just go and get Aldi getting milk with your life.
Yeah, I like it. I do
It's
like
all
my
about
life
how
a
you time a
great
visit,
deal.
Sidge. Go to Aldi, 7:30, 8:15. Take half an hour. See what the house looks like when you get back.
Love my family. Love this job. But it's just the mundanity of running out of milk again, aren't I? Like being an adult. It's like, oh, God, the gutterin's going to fall down on it. It's like, yeah, but let's just
On the same spot, yeah.
that for another day. Make it worse, if anything.
I think you just
There's always some you have to worry about. Ugh.
milk never stays full. Just never.
Yeah, so I hate running out of things,
Not for me. I have Judgment Daisy, so I'm fine. She is. Need a little top up.
I'm always running out of stuff.
Yeah.
Michelle McCool's going in the Hall of Fame. Michael Cole announced that along with the sellout crowd and what have you. And then we got to AJ Styles versus Dominik Mysterio with mentions of Styles being a former TNA World Champion, an X Division champion. Styles dominates.
Like how they can mention that now.
Yeah.
He was a star in Japan.
Speaking of Zayn and Owens, remember when Kurt Angle did that?
Yes.
You could go get work in TNA.
Yeah, here they are.
Like, offers.
I hear they're hiring.
Trust Kurt Angle to say that. Of course they weren't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Styles dominates. He's about to win very quickly with a phenomenal forearm. But Carlito's obviously out there. He trips him. Dom distracts the ref, and Dom hit a suicide dive to take us to a break. When we come back, Dom's hitting the 3 amigos and a 619, but misses the frog splash. Styles fights back with clotheslines and a neck breaker. Carlito tries to get in the ring, but Styles kicks the middle of the rope and he goes in his cack, knocks him off the apron.
The apple flies everywhere.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
It's all good stuff.
Dom tries to roll up from that, but AJ just gets out of it and gets Styles clash for the 1, 2, 3. More fun was the post-match, because Bron Breakker slides in. He's going to spear Styles, but he moves at the last second. And Bron Breakker kills Dominik Mysterio by mistake. And Styles chucks him out of there. And Bron's fizzing, rips his shirt off, throws it at Styles, who catches it like Roman Reigns with that microphone at SummerSlam, or the build to.
Doesn't even break eye contact with Bron. Like, the 2 coolest moments of AJ Styles' life.
Yeah,
within
yeah.
10 seconds of each other.
Yes.
Just, like, moving out the way. Like, they'd obviously said, run as fast as you can as if you're going to spear me, because otherwise the Dominik one will look fake. And Bron's like, good, yeah, this move needs protecting. I'm fast, mate. You're definitely going to move, because you're not even going to be looking at me the whole time. You're going to have to turn around and move. You saw the IYO SKY. I got it. And he got it.
Yeah.
And then he caught the shirt as well. A good night for AJ Styles. Yeah. I like this babyface AJ. I don't know. I'm feeling something for babyface AJ on Raw currently. I'm into it.
Just really funny seeing him spear people every time.
He's the best. Bron Breakker makes you feel stuff. I think, like, Bron Breakker makes think. Jacob Fatu and Bron Breakker, we're in good hands. These can't miss, can they?
Well, he did. He missed AJ Styles. Such thoughts.
Like, you can't botch those pushes. I don't think.
You can't botch the pushes. It's whether they've got staying power at the absolute tippy top for me. They have that overwhelming awesomeness about them. Whether you'd want to watch the continued exploits of knucklehead powerhouse Bron Breakker do like vulnerability and, you know,
It was his
paranoia.
worst period thus far, wasn't it? When he turned himself heel being boring.
Does he have the range, basically?
Yeah.
Do they have the range? Their moments if they ever get strapped up, the actual moment will be amazing. The build will be amazing. It's the staying power, but that's lots of time to worry about that. It's lots of time.
With each of them, especially like the more they're occasionally put together and then put as separate as far away as possible. There's like a 2004, 2005 Batista Cena energy to it. You could elevate them both at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Make them both champions over the previously established top guys, and then like let them go and see who kind of like takes the spot.
It's like when people, because with someone like Breakker, I know it's by the by, but I'm not talking about this match. It was just there as pretext to the post match angle. It's similar when people talk about Goldberg. Like, didn't WCW botch him? And it's like, I don't think a competent wrestling promotion could have got much out of a Goldberg for long. Guy couldn't wrestle. Guy had a limited arc as a character. He couldn't just do Bob Holly for a decade, you know. It's just, the conversation was always annoying about that for me. There's certain wrestlers who've got an unbelievable longevity at the main event level, like a Hiroshi Tanahashi, someone who's even better when he gets a little bit broken down and rages against the dying light. Bron Breakker, I don't see having that level of a main event run, but we'll see.
Did you see, sorry, just mentioning Japan there, did you see the chop on Gabe Kidd that was doing the rounds on social
No, but I
media?
need to catch up with this goddamn
Oh
Japan
my
show.
God.
I need to catch up with this.
Who was it he was facing?
Was it the Yota Tsuji man?
Yes, that was it.
I need to catch up with
I've
this
seen
show.
this.
It was, I was like, well, it's been nice watching you wrestle, Gabe Kidd. It went through him.
Wow.
The noise was
That
incredible.
match is meant to be amazing. I am not one for the New Japan is back discourse. I've been burned by them having a good show a million times. I think people are way too premature about it, generally, over recent years. So I might get back on the bandwagon in 3 months once I know I can be safe.
Goto's moved people, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
him
yeah.
Finally getting strapped up.
We see the Creed brothers. Well, they're bragging about what they did to the War Raiders last week. Also, I'm not sure if it was here or later on, but very cool that Julius Creed's on the Ultimate Fighter coaching team.
I was going to ask you about this. Has he got like a past life as a coach, a UFC coach or something?
It must be for his wrestling acumen.
Yeah,
I think Sidge is right.
but there's something to it in his history, I think. Like before he was Julius Creed or known as a pro wrestler of any description, I think there's like some... I thought you might have like known where he's like been on somebody's fight team or something like that.
Yeah, he's on Team DC, Team Daniel Cormier for the Ultimate Fighter. former NCAA
And now obviously
All-American.
two sides, that, they're under the same umbrella, I guess.
It could be meaningless synergy for a reality TV show.
Yeah. Could be, Sid.
Could
sure
be.
Could.
But yeah, very cool that. Yeah, they're talking about attacking the War Raiders last week, and Ivy Nile was like, yeah, we didn't win the titles, and we promised Master Gable we'd all be champions when he returns, but she's going to beat Dakota Kai to earn the IC title shot. But Kai walks past and says, your Cinderella story is going to end tonight. Many women bigger than you have tried to take me down before. I'm getting my rematch, basically. And then we got the match with Lyra Valkyria sitting at ringside for Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. Obviously, Nile targets the previously injured leg of Dakota Kai. She gets tied in the Tree of Woe at one point as a running kick to the knee and an ankle lock. But Kai comes back with some running boots and a chiropractor, but then Nile powerbombs her out the corner, gets her another ankle lock. Kai gets a rope break. Nile applies another ankle lock, but Kai uses the ropes to escape, stomps Nile while she's draped over the ropes and hits the GTK to get the 1, 2, 3. Dakota Kai is the number one contender.
Talked about this yesterday. I feel strongly that you have opposite problems between Raw and SmackDown.
Senator.
Sorry.
Opposite problems. They have worked quite hard on a number of the characters on SmackDown in the women's division, and as a result, several of them have gotten over, at very least established a crowd connection. In both matches from the women's division on Friday SmackDown, they started off ropey, to say the least. Chemistry issues, like Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton especially, just like different pages to begin with. Fans never lost interest, stuck with the wrestlers. The matches start to get good, and then it's like, oh, the investment was rewarded. That sort of like volume, that little swell got louder and louder, and then it kind of was in line with the action coming together, and then you kind of got the perfect outcome, which is two matches that have quite strong over finishes, even though some of the work hasn't necessarily held up. The fans buy into someone like a Chelsea Green and the relationship with Piper Niven. The kind of Nia Jax, Tiffany stuff in general, getting a version of a payoff to set up the Elimination Chamber thing with Trish. Raw's got the opposite problem. I think there's been a few weeks now where, and like Dakota Kai is an example of it. So is Lyra Valkyria, but like there's lots of good work, good wrestling. Who can't wrestle good these days, huh? Like,
You can't wrestle good.
everybody's wrestling good.
Mitch Holland?
Oh yeah. Other than him, everybody sees wrestling good.
Bayley?
All the kids in Springfield are good
Bayley?
wrestlers. Leave it. Yeah. We'll NXT preview later. We got some stuff to talk about with Bayley. Yeah, it's just good wrestling. Good wrestling, lack of interest. And look, the segment before it summed it up. Like, how can you care about that? Ivy Nile there might be like little shoots of improvement in ring when the characters do not back up what they say, don't feel real, don't feel lived in. Dakota Kai and IYO SKY should be examples of how you've gotten it right, because Damage Control have kicked around for ages. But really, really, what even is Damage Control? Like, IYO SKY is a top-line performer who wants to be the champion because she's been there and is believable in the spot. But is any of that tied to the fiction? Not really. Dakota Kai, if you actually wanted to tell a story, headcanon, is this like near-miss expert. Like, gets injured, gets so close and gets injured, comes back, starts putting it together again, gets injured, comes back, gets a shot at the title, this brand new title, the validation, falls short. This isn't being told to you on television. It's just stuff you have to put together yourself if you happen to like the women involved. These matches get the reactions they deserve, and they're probably better. It's all just good wrestling, but they're better work than the SmackDown ones, but you can see the difference because of the creative investment in the women on SmackDown.
Tight, utterly mediocre, bereft of heat. Never will remember it a million years. I feel a little bit of pity. They're graphing out there. They're trying to make that stuff look like it hurts a little bit. As just no one cared.
Senator.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Dakota Kai lays her kicks in for that noise that never comes. Oh, even if when like the fans aren't into a match, a kick like that, or wrestlers have used chops forever, whatever, something that just snaps everybody. The whole crowd is giving a Senator by one of those kicks. That's what those like shots and strikes exist for, and they don't work on these Raw crowds almost ever, and it's every week.
Then we go to the concourse, and surrounded by all the fans is not Jey Uso, it's Gunther. I love this so much. He's doing his own take on Jey Uso's entrance.
I feel like we talked a few of these ideas into existence. Didn't we? More of these to come, hopefully.
What do we do? Yeet, isn't it? Yeet. Very simple gesture for simple people, he says.
Incredible.
Understand why Jey feels comfortable in this crowd.
And folks, where is the lie?
Hang on.
And I mean,
Camera on them, not me.
folks, where's the lie?
A simple
I'll put the camera on. So you put the rest of the pad now. What are you going to do?
Sidgcam.
40
Senator.
minutes of this.
A simple person. I am one, for Christ's sake.
Yes. He now understands why Jey feels comfortable in this crowd because he's a simple guy himself. And he understands why the fans doesn't appreciate him, Gunther being the person I'm talking about there, because his performances in the ring were like performing Shakespeare for a dog. What a line.
Yeah, it's a great line from Zack Sabre Jr., that one.
Yeah, he pinched that one.
He pinched it, man.
He also...
Maybe he's made the call. I don't know.
Maybe.
They go back.
WCPW history, of course.
Always finds it. Always finds the link.
You're welcome.
The wrestling.
Right. I want to not forget to mention that Gunther threatened a child.
Yeah.
That was great. That was the best part.
He's
I was in a little bit of a mood about the thievery, and then he just won us back over.
Yes, he's walking through the crowd, and there's a little kid there. I think he's in like a John Cena hat or whatever. And he says, "Step aside, little man, before something happens."
I need to chop a kid.
He lobbed something at a kid last week, didn't he?
Yeah, he lobbed his coat.
Yeah, it's a
and Louise told me about it. She was like, "Have you seen what happened on whatever?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "He hit a kid." And I was like, "What?" Threw his
stuff
coat
around.
jacket, I think.
It's a vendetta.
Have you seen the that with the JFK audio attached to it? It's like kid getting hit in the face with a coat and he's going back and to the left. Poor little lad. Funny though. That's not a child. That's a stunt child.
She's hanging out with the wrestlers after the show.
They give these signs out to the people as they walk in and tell them to wave them around.
Worried about her safety? They're laughing at you at the bar afterwards. All right. He hits the mats with his hands first. His back's absolutely fine. Don't be fooled by his face.
He's not even rubbing his eye on the top rope. We're watching LFG this week, aren't we?
Sure are.
Yeah.
So pumped. I think we should take a lunch break together to sit and watch it.
What's the best time? Not today.
No.
No. I don't know.
Tomorrow?
We'll find time.
Tomorrow?
Oh, that sounds like it's a good idea, Alarm.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the good idea alarm has just sounded.
So what did you see over the weekend? Someone reminded us of the good take hat. I haven't heard that phrase said in
What,
about
that
5 years.
Baseball cap that you would wear when he was about to make a good take.
I can't remember this.
That's like a real deep memory. I can't remember.
I pitched it maybe when he was more of a takes merchant before he became the OTJ. Obviously, as a journalist, he can't really be dishing out those kind of takes anymore.
You got to pay good money for that.
This is it, yeah.
Anyway, we're back to Gunther.
That prowess and secrets exposed. So I was like, they'd like the fake characters they'd come up with to have these matches.
With the voice of Salem
Salem
from
Sabine.
yeah.
Mr. Foreigner, look at him after the show. He's American as you or I.
as apple pie. Love it.
You've been fooled again.
You stupid idiots.
Flicking over. Hang on. It's Monday Night Raw's on.
But what we need to understand is that Gunther is the best wrestler in this company right now, and he's sick of wrestling people who can't even lace his boots.
Also a dummy. Compressed sawdust. Bet you feel real stupid now, don't you?
Simple ketchup.
Anyway, he was hopeful that he could talk or beat Jey Uso into making the right decision. But because of the people yeeting Jey into confidence, he's dug his own grave. The crowd starts yeeting. He tells them to shut up and says how bad it smells in the stands.
He's genuinely popped.
And I mean,
I've never sat next.
No, to
I've
be fair.
never, ever had a hygiene problem at a wrestling show.
No. Same.
People trying to get themselves over and ruining my good time. Absolutely. I think wrestling fans, I don't like the hygiene thing, get deodorant wrestling fans. No. Stop making the show about you. I want to see the stand-up comedy, I'd go to the venue downstairs. You know what I mean? I'd go down the street to the comedy club on open mic night.
Have you ever had someone doing WWE commentary in your ear?
No.
Well, you had that, I think, at 38, maybe. Do you remember?
Possibly.
He was like, oh my God, he's going to the top rope.
Oh, God, yeah.
You're like, all right, mate, I know. Yeah.
In like a sort of like a Jim Ross affectation as well, just to like...
God damn it, if I wanted to see a mark, I'd go to AEW.
What was your... oh, God, it's a word that always pops me. It's a use your special.
Use your special, Triple H. And I'm emotional. I'd travel across a pond and see Daniel Bryan triumph here. It's like, it's literally not a game
Is
to
it
me.
WrestleMania 30 this?
Yeah.
Use your special.
Use your special. That's not a game at me then.
Is he watching wrestling with energy meters getting
Yeah.
full? Oh, he's kicking his ass. Use your special.
I played a video game once upon a time. I don't really care that much.
What was your other?
Can I just? Does this happen in another American sports if you go and attend it live, or is it just a phenomenon exclusive to wrestling fans, where they just feel like they want to get themselves over?
Maybe at like UFC, possibly. I've seen like some idiots in the crowd there. But then that might be that funny Vine that I saw. It's like, twist his dick off or whatever. The old dick twist.
They're not like,
Got a great point, Dick Twister.
do they just no sell the reality of everyone around them head cradled in their hands?
You must do, because you couldn't for shame, could you, go on like that? And
It's when those people like get kicked out and everyone around celebrates. And you just think, surely that's got to be a kind of life-changing moment of like, I need to realise the error of... back next week. What was I was trying to remember the other chant. Was it UT?
Come on, UT. Nah, I loved him. UT, he's just a guy who loved The Undertaker, man.
UT.
Come on, UT. It's a guy who loved The Undertaker, man. He was into it.
yeah.
Wasn't trying to, like, he was living and dying with a dead man.
Or as this we all say, UT.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gunther's like, never mind about being in the crowd. At WrestleMania, the match is going to happen in the ring. And after that bell rings, I'm going to outclass him in every aspect of this sport. Jey Uso's blood will be on your hands, he says to the people. Do you really think Jey can actually win? And the crowd are chanting, we want Jey, before he's even finished the question. So he decides to ask some professionals. He climbs the announce desk and asks Cole and McAfee, who are like very scared of him, understandably, for their supposedly unbiased professional opinion. Pat McAfee's not keen on answering, and Cole even warns him to be careful, but McAfee says, yeah, I hope he can beat you at WrestleMania. Well, don't say that, Pat. Gunther's going to kill him. But before he can get his hands on him, Jey Uso's music hits. He runs out. There's referees trying to stop him. He gets rid of them. They brawl in the ring. Eventually, Gunther gets sent out of it and marches off to the back, and Jey leads the fans in a yeet.
I don't think I share my esteemed colleagues' thing with joy, where it's like, oh my God, oh, this is as good as it's going to be now. 10% of the coffee is gone.
Yeah.
I don't think I have that generally. I have it a bit with this program because I love it. I love all of it. I love the blending of reality and fiction with Gunther and Jay's different skills. I say this every week, but I think it's worth putting over once a week at this point. I love the guts and the boldness to book the Saturday Night's Main Event match and have it done to make clear something we already knew as a way to inform the build. Love it. Love these interactions because it's such easy contrast that you can play with. We've even talked about different ways in which Gunther can be both embarrassed and use Yi as what he believes to be a form of embarrassment against Jey. And Jey, such an earnest, brilliant babyface, powered, yes, by a catchphrase, but that catchphrase reflects a movement and a groundswell, and that is powerful. And maybe it will be powerful enough to win the world title at WrestleMania. All of that table is so nicely laid. And yet I am watching these segments thinking, another month and a half, 2 months of this. How are you going to do that? And like with all of the joy, there is that little bit of like, what else have you got in these next? Like, please let's not get to Becky Lynch apologizing. Maybe it's like just when there is such an obvious long build and they have to put in something to delay it because these are great. But what else have they got in this? Because you've probably only got a couple of weeks of this sort of stuff, and it is so far so good, but it's so far so same. And I have a little bit of a question about what they do to keep this as hot and enjoyable as and engaging as it is.
Yeah. The premise writes itself. The story doesn't necessarily. Yeah, this is fine.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good way to phrase it. There's a need for a little bit more story, even though the premise is as good as it is.
It's ideal. Yeah. It's ideal for me. I mean, that's Zack Sabre Jr.'s line. Yeah, that was like, come on, what we're doing here. But they use mean to a child. It's always good. This is fine. This is fine.
The Usos versus...
I don't know if Jey Uso is going to say it right. I will blade my forehead and he can chop us as hard as I can. He doesn't have to do anything, really, Jey Uso, and I still don't know if he can bring himself to do that. We'll see.
Gunther going to brutalise Big Jim?
I was about to say the Usos versus Gunther and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Yes. I'll do.
He should beat up Rikishi.
Yes.
Shove his bum in his face.
Gunther doing a stink face. That's appalling.
He should denigrate Rikishi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kathy Kelly's there with Liv Morgan.
Destroys him and I was like, well, it's not like I hit you with my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy Kelly's there with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez asking about the footage we saw on SmackDown, the Jade Cargill attack. And
is Rikishi in the Hall of Fame already?
Yeah.
Liv Morgan says, that doesn't show us doing anything. You've been guilty of doing a lot of stuff in the past. They don't say they didn't do it, but they also don't take credit for it, basically. They're basically like, oh, we haven't got time for this. Raquel's going to squish Roxanne Perez like a bug, and Kelly tries pressing them on it, and they just blow her off, and she's like, thanks for nothing, basically. And also during a break, I watched this because, funny, Jey Uso bumps into the New Day, and they're taking the piss out of him, a former tag wrestler fighting for a singles world title at WrestleMania. Xavier Woods says, I hope you lose. And Jay says, let's not forget that Kofi Mania wouldn't have happened if the Usos hadn't forfeited. And he mentions that New Day sucks and leaves.
He does, yeah.
Nice call by that.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought it was a brilliant build as part of that there. We forfeit. Loved that. A better night for the New Day. We'll get to that in a bit. But first we have to get through Pete Dunne versus Penta. Yeah, thought so. Penta kicks Dunne right in the face. Dunne fires back with a drop kick, but then starts targeting Penta's extremities, grabbing his fingers and what have you. As we go to a break, there's a bit of a distraction because here comes Ludwig Kaiser.
You made yourself laugh at that, didn't you? Chuckle as you were saying, Kaiser, you're popping already. Kaiser. I got all the way over here. I started over there.
Change cameras. Start on yours, end up on his. Anyway, Penta comes back with this. I've got to entertain myself somehow. Penta comes back with a super kick and a flying crossbody. Dunne hits him with a drop kick. Penta hits a DVD, but then Dunne fires back with a sit-out powerbomb. Canadian Destroyer, Mexican Destroyer from Penta. Kaiser distracts him, though, and that allows Dunne to cut off his dive and cradle him with grabbing the tights for a 2 count. But Dunne's like, what bloody hell are you doing to Ludwig Kaiser? And he's like, I'm just asking questions, mate.
Like his face. Kaiser's face.
Yeah,
Has he bend his mouth like that?
He's very good at that, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, Penta chucks Dunne into Kaiser, knocks him off the apron. Penta driver, 1, 2, 3 post-match. Kaiser attacks Penta, but then Dunne's pissed at Kaiser, so he pulls him off out of the ring. And then Penta wipes them both out with a big dive.
Very 2017, 2018 independent wrestling this was, because it's Penta and Pete Dunne. You've seen it all.
It's funny because that sucked at the time, but now it's good because it's the Fed.
I didn't say it was good.
I was saying idiots do.
Yeah, I liked it enough at the time, but it is stuff you've seen over and over and over again. The Penta thing, I always think of the Jim Ross, where it's like, all sizzle, where's the steak? Like, there is some steak if you like the Penta moves. I haven't seen him before, maybe, if he's brand new to you here. But I really like the sizzle. Like, there's a lot of sizzle. There's enough sizzle to carry Penta to WrestleMania and then to carry him long enough until Rey Fenix arrives.
Yes.
And then we might get sizzle and steak. That can be the new name. Is that Lucha Brothers, if that's still copyrighted in AEW?
Sizzle and steak.
This, however, is going to test how much sizzle he's got, because it is just a rote copycat match of the two of them. They could, to be fair to them, they could wrestle this in their sleep because they've done it and matches like it against similar opponents 100 times. But I too got a kick out of Ludwig Kaiser, like what they're doing with him. Another guy, not on quite the Bron Breakker Jacob Fatu level, but gives you reason to believe that they are still looking to the future and thinking, who's in the mid-card who we could potentially go a little bit further with. And Ludwig Kaiser is currently kind of like trying to measure. He's got the wrestling bit, that's taken care of, but like how comedic and daft can he get with his other attributes that can make them ultimately take him seriously as a longer-term singles prospect, not just the Imperium guy. I think they're getting somewhere with him.
I know what it was about this match. If it was more like laid out a flatter Penta than they've had one on Raw that was just a bit boring, wasn't it?
The one after the Gable one. Can't remember who it was against. Yeah,
I've had done Penta beat Dunne before on Raw, not that long ago, and I just felt that was just a really tedious control segment from Pete Dunne. This seemed to be more laid out a flatter Penta. I had an alright time with this. I had an alright time with this. Way more of a good time than I was expecting. The big bombs hit. It didn't outstay its welcome.
Penta's over.
Which elevates the whole thing enormously. Nothing like noteworthy at all, but it wasn't that Pete Dunne coded. Though he did his job quite professionally here.
Kathy Kelly then interviews Jey Uso, asks about people's doubts about him, and he's tired of all this. He fires up. People keep doubting him, he says, but he's standing there as the Royal Rumble winner, and he's going to shock the world again by beating Gunther and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. And then we see clips of Bayley in the NBA Celebrity Game. There's a Roxanne Perez video package, and one for the War Raiders, who warned the Creed brothers they made the worst mistake of their lives last week, and next time they fight, it'll be war. Can it be Viking rules? Please.
Yeah, please.
I don't think they made a big mistake if there's a next time. If anything, they made a really smart call. They were about to lose the match, got themselves disqualified, and now somehow they're going to get a rematch. I'd say it was the smartest thing they could have done.
Yes.
Au contraire, War Raiders. Then we got an Elimination Chamber qualifier match. Raquel Rodriguez facing someone that I know Michael Sidgwick has talked for a long time about jumping to the main roster. Roxanne Perez, of course. Big fan of Roxanne Perez, aren't you?
No, you were thinking of somebody else, Sidge.
It's Roxanne Perez.
Keep the margaritas on ice, mate, because I heard that Roxanne Perez
was wrestling on the main roster.
What's going on here?
Lillian Garcia said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Roxanne Perez.
Oh, God.
And I was like, no, Sidge was excited for Roxanne Perez to debut, but we're getting her instead.
I'd go
That's how they can do both. She could stay in NXT as Roxanne, but on the main roster, hey, don't call me Roxanne. I'm Roseanne round here.
Where would that go?
Roseanne. No, it doesn't work.
You never seen them together?
No.
Like Elias and Elijah.
I go full senator whenever the entrances are on. Actually, this doesn't matter to me. So I didn't catch that. Not included in the bit. Don't care to be included in the bit.
It's your bit.
So yeah.
God, I wish you would retire, man. You happy?
Wish you would
promising
the prodigy, please quit. Please quit the business.
So Raquel,
it's just they're clearly positioning her to be Charlotte Flair as well. So 10 more, God willing, if I have 10 more years, this will be ruined by you. Still, just because I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna keep going with this bit. You like it. It abuses you too much. I predict that you'll keep saying something like in your head. You'll think it. The more you do it, the funnier it'll get. You could do something effective. She's just in the main roster life well for you, Sidgwick.
Yeah, the latest call up from NXT 4 years after she stayed the jump.
So you got
that's good. I'll write that down.
Yeah. It's like wins at WrestleMania, like 44. Still just into the main roster well for you, Sidgwick. Yes, Adam.
Anyway, Roxanne gets beaten up by Raquel Rodriguez because she's massive compared to her. She thought it was a good idea to slap her at one point, and that just pissed Raquel off. Launched her into the ring post. I like that spot where she gets someone in a guillotine and then just spins them round. That's awesome.
Yeah, that really woke the crowd up.
Yeah. Perez fights back, but then Raquel catches her out of the air and hits a fall-away slam and an elbow drop for 2. But Perez avoids a tackle, and Rodriguez goes shoulder first into the post. Perez hits consecutive dives, a DDT, and a springboard moonsault for 2. But Raquel blocks, pop rocks, and hits a big boot for 2. And this is the moment that Bianca Belair and Naomi's music hits, or Bianca's music hits, and Naomi comes out with a and Liv Morgan is there at ringside, and just sort of the look on her face like, well, here we go. And they beat her up, obviously. This distracts Raquel Rodriguez, and Perez hits the pop rocks. 1, 2, 3. She qualifies for the chamber.
Really enjoyed this. I've needed it for a while from Roxanne Perez. And twist, it came when she was cast as a babyface again. Because that's basically what happened here. Like, I don't think she's been having bad matches in NXT, but I just haven't been
Did you see
feeling...
the takeover? See the Vengeance Day main event?
All right. Bad singles matches. But they haven't been as exciting as I would have liked from her, from like not the promise she had, because she obviously already had it together when she came in. That was apparent. But I didn't necessarily see much development of her as a heel. I think the whole point of turning a heel was to be like, right, there's the string to your bow that you haven't got. We think you've got everything else.
She's Alexa Bliss.
You're a prodigy, but let's see if you can be a heel
Talks
as well.
and walks like Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, then you've got that as well. And then we kind of have a bit of fun with Stumbo, Bumbo and all that kind of thing. But the reality was she wasn't good at that stuff. And it was undermining the stuff she is good at. And you saw loads of that here because they had the simple giant killer story to tell. Somebody that can be out-wrestled because Roxanne Perez has got better technical skill, better ring awareness, better ring IQ. All of this is in kayfabe and very much in reality. And there was loads of evidence of that as well. She was walking Raquel Rodriguez through loads of this, getting her into position, like providing all the movement. This was such an accomplished performance from Roxanne Perez. And you used to think that and call her a prodigy all the time. And it's kind of been lost in this heel character. They've forced her to play. And yeah, she's still healing it up and she's still kind of like sneering at the crowd and all that. That's the gimmick she's stuck with presently. But just getting to drop that for the context of this match was so nice and refreshing. Like, all joking aside about me and Ross call-ups, if this is the official one, the strongest possible start.
They called that NXT's Roxanne Perez.
So she's still there. I can see why you'd want to hold on to this, but it's coming. It's coming. This was, what a rollout for her to qualify. Yeah. Like, she will be rooted for, I would imagine, in the Elimination Chamber off the back of this.
I thought this was really, really good as well. Really, really strong. Spunky Roxanne Perez is better than Alexa Bliss Roxanne Perez. Who'd have thunk it, huh? Who'd have thunk it? I thought she just led her around the ring. I'll tell you what was really good about this, right? If you watched in total isolation each setup to Pop Rocks, the idea of her trying to execute it on someone that size is pretty absurd to begin with. They wouldn't look too different, right? If you just showed someone what's the difference between these two MP4s, people would go, it looks exactly the same. But because she did such a great job in the body of the match of really selling you on the idea of, no, she's clever, she's savvy, she's lively, she can really sort of run and wrestle rings around this opponent. The emotional logic part of your brain thinks, that second Pop Rocks did the job. In isolation, I reckon if you were really pedantic about it, when it looks as rubbish as the first, but it's the feeling. And she summoned the feeling last night. I thought she was really, really strong here. Yeah, and she's there's nothing wrong with being typecast. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
We get an interview with Seth Rollins, Kathy Kelly. He says he's going to beat Bálor tonight. No one cares about that because after he leaves, here comes Karrion Kross, Sidge. What does he do? Right, he's writing it down verbatim because I love him so much. Sami Zayn, he says, I know at some point you're going to see this because you and I both know you keep a close eye on your good friend, Seth Rollins. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this delirious mindset you and all your friends have.
This lollipop, by the way.
I did see the ankle off there. I thought, was there a bit white bit there? Yeah. I'll stick, buddy.
He says, let me get this straight. Jey Uso actually believes he's going to beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Shakes his head.
I love his face.
It's great, isn't he?
And Seth Rollins believes he's going to qualify for the Elimination Chamber and then he's going to go on and eliminate the Invisible Man, John Cena. No. And you, Sammy, you actually believe you stand a chance of beating Kevin Owens in the state that you're in? My God, he says. The first two guys, they've lost their minds. There's no helping them. Sammy, I believe deep down inside, you know there's always more time to turn things around.
Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn are being linked heavily in storylines of late. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are having a match at Elimination Chamber in Canada. Paul Levesque really likes Karrion Kross.
And Randy Orton.
Sami Zayn is considered a guy who is just infinitely valuable and can do good business with virtually everyone. I think it's going to be Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing here. I do not know what we're doing here. Karrion Kross pops me daft, but I do not know what we're doing here. What is Levesque cooking with this WrestleMania?
He's talked his way into the spot, and I never begrudge any talent doing that. If whether it be through matches, through politics, through promos, if you found a way to convince people that the spot should be yours, more, especially in a time like this, more power to you. Karrion Kross has done that week after week after week after
That
week.
Twitter video from the weekend.
Fantastic, and it's.
Oh my God.
And he's, to be fair to him as well, you cannot, as has been proven over and over again, it can never just be Twitter. It can barely just be ad breaks at this point.
If
And
that's second match on night 2, it's just going to bomb.
Yeah, it's nuts that this is happening, but I kind of can't dispute his worth for something. I don't know if it's WrestleMania against Sami Zayn,
Where's the manager?
but that feels like where they're headed right now. And fair play to him. He does entertain me. Then the bell will ring. But right now, when every other point up to it, from pretty much, I don't want to say from the moment we started enjoying him, but from the moment where he kind of became can't miss to us, I've really cared about that guy.
Yeah.
And of all the times of year for it to all be coming together, it's 6 weeks out from WrestleMania, and he's talking about one of the people that, one of the biggest names on the
I'm
card.
going to be, if he's in that match, because everyone's going to be either pro Sami Zayn or grumpy, I'm going to be the biggest Karrion Kross fan in Las Vegas.
What if, right? So, the ladder match at the Rumble, Cody stood on the table and Owens just laying there dead, and Sami's got his arm around him, and that's friendship to Sami Zayn. What if Kevin Owens does that to Sami Zayn, just decimates him in this brawl, whatever, and then it's Karrion Kross with his arm around Sami Zayn, playing a Sami Zayn role?
I'm his mate.
It's just tightening the grip on his neck.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Because about a month ago, it was I'll do some of the Wide Six or whatever.
Yeah,
And the Miz and the Wide Six.
that's Alexa Bliss's stuff now.
Yeah.
They're doing the brah, 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 brah whenever she's
it's
on
all
screen,
in
so
it.
that's happening. Don't know against who.
How do you go, I would need someone for Karrion Kross? Sami Zayn. What? I'm not sure about that. No. What is...
Got a list.
This Triple H just turned into a total bitch over the path. Like, who's the big chud guy? Who's the well-oiled machine? Now everyone's going, can I have something at WrestleMania? Okay. Do you know what I mean? What's going on here?
Karrion Kross goes in with a list.
Is he a feckless turd now?
Can I have CM Punk? No. Come on, Karrion. You're right. John Cena? I mean, fine, I suppose I'll take Sami Zayn. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad we came to this agreement. Karrion Kross, did it.
We'll see where we go from here.
Yeah.
More Karrion Kross promos, please.
Seems that way.
Speaking of, promos, technically, we had a video promo of IYO SKY. She's underwater. She says a year ago she was champion heading to the big stage. Now her path isn't so clear. There was a good chance she wouldn't have her moment this year, but this match with Rhea, which happens the Raw after, of course, Elimination Chamber, that's the opportunity she needs. She respects Rhea. She knows her better than she knows herself. Every time they met in NXT, IYO came out on top. This will be no different. She wants her championship back.
Another example of why I think it's bad rather than fun what's going on with this WrestleMania card. Because the men's Elimination Chamber now, it was smart to announce Gunther Jey because the stakes have been raised. Cody Rhodes gets the winner. And then people are going, or a triple threat? And that immediately dilutes Cody Rhodes gets the winner. The biggest, highest stakes. The women's match has now got the same thing because Charlotte Flair's picked Tiffany Stratton. And it's the Elimination Chamber.
Terrible promo.
Gets
Absolutely awful.
What, Charlotte Flair?
Yeah.
I mean, she's Charlotte Flair. You get what you pay for with her.
Oh, Tiffany. What did you think of it?
I loved it. It's a brilliant heel promo. Wake up, it's still Tiffy time. The Queen chooses you.
Oh my God.
Brilliant. Got everything I wanted.
I do like her. It's just horrible apart from big matches, but I do love her.
They've really given up on the whole babyface thing super quick.
I'm telling you, man, that's why Triple H put it out there with Rhea Ripley. Yeah, we're a babyface, sure. We're just going to send Rhea out there just in case.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. No, but look, winner of the Chamber gets Rhea Ripley. Should be huge. Should be, there we go.
I was looking at that field and thinking, huh?
Yeah, one of those 6 gets Rhea. But then it's been muddled because we've got this like match the next night. So if, again, the well machine will be like, the winner gets either Rhea or Io, and you should kind of want both of those matches. And what has everybody kind of done? Not everybody, being general here, but a lot of people have gone, triple threat with the winner in IYO SKY. Nobody's committing to out because it feels like the booking isn't committing to anyone. And it's dampening the enthusiasm for it. Yeah. Like, there are a few interesting Rhea Ripley combinations from this Elimination Chamber, but a lot of people just wanted this IYO SKY match as the WrestleMania match. So now people are kind of bargaining with themselves and going, well, maybe it's like Bianca wins the Chamber or whatever, and then IYO gets in as well. And yeah, that's a class match, but there would have been a way to build both those singles matches in a way more interesting fashion.
We see footage of the New Day attacking Rey Mysterio last week as the show went off the air. And they come out and Woods wishes him well. The crowd are booing him. Tells him, shut up. Can't believe you're mad about what we said to our own friend Big E when we told him to keep his lazy ass at home. Now you're mad about what we did to Rey Mysterio, a guy who sucked the life out of every new fresh-faced luchador in this company. Kofi's furious as well. Fans put Rey on a pedestal, but he's got more title wins than Rey had. He's been in WWE longer than Rey. He never left the company like Rey did. If anyone should be the locker room leader, says Kofi King, it should be me. Him kicking us out of the locker room is audacious. And Xavier says, look, he forced us to take a steel chair to his ankle. Kofi says they made Rey cry. But you should be thanking us for showing some mercy to Rey. At least we didn't take him out back and give him the old yellow treatment. We gave him some vacation.
We didn't kill him.
We didn't kill him. Come on.
We gave him some vacation days, guys. You should be on your knees thanking God for the New Day. I love this promo. They're interrupted by the LWO and Dragon Lee defending Rey Mysterio, calls him the greatest luchador of all time, says what New Day did was unforgivable. He starts insulting them in Spanish and then says, oh, in case you don't know, New Day sucks. And they brawl. LWO knocks New Day out of the ring, and Dragon Lee's about to go for a dive before Kofi and Xavier scarper.
In stark contrast to a lot of what's going on with these wrestlers at WrestleMania, the New Day versus Rey and Penta that was mysteriously abandoned for the Netflix special feels set for WrestleMania, and it's happening as they are finally getting there with the New Day. It gets better and better every week, so you sense that will trend upwards, as will the anticipation for Rey's comeback, powered on by Penta, proving that the New Day are liars and that Rey Mysterio isn't a leech. He's a guy that has wanted to help luchadors. It just so happens that they haven't quite been able to replicate the magic of Rey Mysterio. And in doing that, the implication is Penta can. And that works wonders for Penta as well, and will be quite the spectacle match over WrestleMania weekend as well. I think this is, as long as it is that path, and I think it is, good booking and good use of all.
And we'll get presumably a match with maybe New Day versus like Joaquin Wild, Cruz del Toro. Love those guys.
That gets you on the way.
Yeah.
You've got Lucha Brothers on the other side of it versus the New Day. Kind of a dream match when Penta inevitably beats one of the New Day at WrestleMania. Good booking, I think, this.
Yeah, it's decent booking. I wish it hadn't. The New Day has been sort of tended to carefully. There's been a shift, an improvement, but because they do nothing with the LWO, they come out to like an anti-pop essentially, and it's going to be tough sledding to make people care about that.
Main event time. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the final spot in the Elimination Chamber.
Oh my God.
Sharpshooter aside. Shooter more like.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Sharp me?
Yeah. Aside. Oh, this is really bloody good. He doesn't give a damn.
No.
I really enjoyed it as well. Balor attacks Rollins before the match. Hits a pedigree very early, but Rollins avoids the coup de grace. Rollins fights back, hits a suicide dive, tries to stomp Balor's head into the steel steps on the outside, but Balor avoids it and sends him into the ring post, drops him on the steps as we go to a break. When we come back, Rollins hits a DDT and a lion salt for 2. He hit Finn Balor with a buckle bomb.
I was pretty worried for Finn Balor's shoulder there, let me tell you.
But Balor gets his knee.
Labrum.
Balor gets his knees up on a frog splash attempt. Cradle, near fall. Crowd, this is awesome. Bálor hit consecutive sling blades, but Rollins caught his drop kick and applied a sharpshooter.
Awful.
Who taught you that, Natalia? Bálor almost... Bálor almost...
Wilbourn finds a way.
Bálor almost gets a rope break, so Rollins let go and hit a pedigree for a brilliant 2.9999 kick out.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it was like a 3.01 kick out.
That was it, yeah. Such a good kick out. He beat him.
Crowd like, ref, you suck! And I forgot to do the... They all sing it.
They all sing it every single week.
But after the pinfall...
I had to pin it on the poor ref. What the hell was he supposed to do?
No.
Like,
I thought my the audio was out of sync with the old picture.
But after the ref you suck chant, Rollins turned to the referee and said,
Time to suck my dick.
He goes for a superplex. Bálor drops him onto the top rope, hits a coup de grace. There was a bit of me that thought, is Finn Bálor going to win this? But then in the end, of course, they trade counters. Bálor puts him in a crossface, but Rollins slips out. Curb stomp, 1, 2, 3. He's the final person to qualify for the Elimination Chamber.
let's just go first. I've almost nothing to say about this. I thought this was every Seth Rollins Finn Bálor match I've ever seen with a couple of big botchkis, and just quite liked it.
It was like a couple of big botchkis and a terrible sharpshooter notwithstanding. There was an urgency befitting the idea of we both need to get in this chamber. I actually believed that maybe it's that Finn Bálor thing or like the Natalia thing or the Miz thing. It's weird to have Finn Bálor in that company, but quite frankly, at this stage of his career, kind of where he belongs. And maybe I've been worked by the old trick, and I'm on to you all, of phone it in, have the muscle memory of when to do things in a WWE match, and you know it doesn't matter that much, and you protect your body if you ever get something big down the line. But Finn Bálor looked like he wanted it for once. He wrestled as if, I could punch my ticket to WrestleMania here, so I'm going to wrestle in this way. And I don't know whether I was just so shocked by the idea of him being David again. But no, I just thought he wrestled with a nasty streak, that there was an urgency, a drama, that there was some near falls that I literally couldn't believe. There was one or two more. I'm like, bloody hell, I'm on the hook for this. Yeah. What the hell did this come from? I was just shocked into a good mood. And I tell you what, I see a million table spots every single week, right? And sometimes that doesn't even feel like hyperbole. The one with the knee.
Oh, yeah, he dropped
Rollins
the knee
dropped
first,
the knee first onto the table. I was like, bit of vicarious, like that looked like it bloody hurt and knocked. And that was just a nasty streak during this match that I would never have expected out of these. It just felt like they were trying to hurt each other en route to triumph out there. There was something about this match that just did something to me.
Making you feel...
a certain kind of way.
I like when Rollins has good weeks. I'm a situational Seth Rollins guy, but he makes it really difficult. There are times I'm like, well done, Seth Rollins. Well done, sir.
Well
and
done.
Then there's a lot of times when he stinks City Jones, or like just has this
Mid-City.
Yeah,
Jeff.
it's mid more than stink, to be fair. And like it just.
So how do you do it?
Yeah.
If you look at the... Sorry, I know it's a tangent and we all want our dinner, right? AJ Styles' clone on the Indies benefits from the idea that ROH is kind of en route to being finished, and he's sort of like, there's Rollins at least, and he had some zip about him, but then over time he has that really breakthroughs against McGuinness, that match that was really good, and it convinced people, he's the next big one. And then he has that disaster against Austin Aries. And it's like, right, okay, they don't actually like him that much, these ROH fans. I know he's already in the Fed. And then early NXT, it's fine. So he's not as good as Bryan. He's not as interesting as Punk. That was always for me with Rollins. And then the Shield. What does his career look like without the Shield, bro? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's... I think all three of them.
How
does any of that go for any of them ultimately?
I don't know, but Roman, I reckon the cream rises to the top.
Maybe, yeah.
But he just rolls with the cream. He's held on to the cream for dear life.
Cream and Rollins.
Because he was the one who was like, like Ambrose he's got something about him. Reigns was like, oh, you're cool and powerful and you're going to bore us for 10 years, but I get it. I like you for now. Rollins is a guy with some zip and he can really put the matches together and make those trios matches interesting.
Good grip.
You could have put...
Is that why he wears the gloves?
Yeah, it does. I
Hold on
just
to
he's
the
want to
cream.
hold on to that cream. They could have put
Oh, stop laughing, Seth.
the fact that he's
Down on the cream.
considered hot. Someone on Twitter had a really good take. The Shield were the Backstreet Boys for a lot of young female WWE fans, and they were all a different kind of hot, like all a very specific kind of hot. And I thought they were all hot as well. Realistically, if you had a hotter Tony Nese, he could have done the Seth Rollins, the Shield in terms of the matches.
Takes off the flak jacket for the first time. Jesus Christ.
Tony Nese could have been Seth
Flak
Rollins,
jacket
man.
with the big
And I think Tony Nese is really talented, but that's why I'm like, there's a million AJ clones who saw Styles and TNA and ROH and thought, oh, young stud, I'll wrestle like that. That's awesome. He gets pops. A million AJ Styles clones. Some of them have even eclipsed AJ Styles himself, but that breed, I think you could have got a million instead of Seth Rollins. Never missed an opportunity to do that. Seth Rollins' deep dive of the week. Here's why he's not as good as the rest. Tony Nese could have done that.
But he had a good main event.
Yeah, a really good main event. I was shocked. Sharpshooter aside.
Sorry, that clinging on to the great things really done me in. So I'm just going to wrap it up there.
Like the keep hanging on cat. I like that.
Let's know your thoughts on Raw in the comments or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch, they can follow all four of us. You follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
you follow Michael Sidgwick.
Sidgwick. Oh!
You can follow our producer Adam Nicholas at
It's Adam Nicholas.
and you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE and make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcast from. For daily wrestling podcast, we'll be back later on today to preview NXT and talk all about NXT.
Determined or not, that Seth is long dead.
Molded into a block of cheese. Kicked his leg so much to turn it into cheese.
We'll be talking about Vengeance Day later. But for now, this has been the Raw Review. My thanks to Hamflett Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.